Most people in America are familiar with what a gift is. A gift is usually something that we give, generally speaking, to someone that we know. If we don't know someone very well, we tend to give a gift card because it allows that person to produce what they need in this world. What we also know is that there are police officers that like to use their children and their wives to abuse people. And I'm literally sitting in my tent thinking about my next recording, and a couple of teenage girls, or pre-college girls I would presume, or freshmen possibly, came up to my little window and asked me if they could give me their blessing bag. She said, "We got this blessing bag for you." And I thought, how interesting the language is for a young person to think that. On the one hand, it sounds marvelous and politically correct. On the other hand, it is not that marvelous, because I'm guaranteeing that there's nothing in that bag that I need or want to collect. You see, people like to give everybody the same things. Churches collect socks and underwear sometimes, and toothpaste and toothbrushes, but everybody wants to play us with all of that, which means we have stockpiling of things that we don't need, and there's literally hundreds to sometimes thousands of dollars that's been wasted, completely wasted, on people like me. Now, there are other people who are indigent who will receive the bag and then throw it away, because of, in a time of pandemic and epidemic, people will be concerned about what's on the bag, what's in the tubes. Even when you go to the men's shelter, they try to give you toothpaste that someone else has used, which is really unsanitary and most disheartening for people like me who are accustomed to health and hygiene. But what I'm not trying to do is poo-poo the hearts and minds of the girls, but I am trying to teach them something, that I'm a man with allergies, and I have allergies to a lot of things, not only things that I eat, but things that can go on my skin. I'm highly sensitive to a lot of products. So at my age, over 50, I'm quite aware of what I need today. But what I need today is not the generosity of young girls being led by their police officer father or their sheriff dad or whatever the hell that brought them here to find me. But if they came on their own accord, they might have begun with a conversation that's just the two of them, as they were there. But what I saw after they talked to me through the window was a gentleman walking around the corner that made me think maybe that's their dad, maybe that's their chaperone, maybe that's their safety, maybe that's their security. Because I do know that there are people who are in drunken stupidity or drug-induced states who are indigent, and that's not me. The liars of America like to play games with people who tell them truthful stories, and they don't want to believe that the stories they're told are truthful. And openly they want the glories for gold, and that's not wise. You see, a difference can be made for someone who's in difficulty by a mere $5. And I say that because a cup of coffee that a teenager might buy at a Starbucks would more than cover some food for me. So when I'm making my audio files, I have the right to do that without the peeping toms trying to play into my life. But what I do know is that people are monitoring my channels, and that isn't right. You see, if you're really a friend of mine, or if you're really a business colleague of mine, then I possibly have told you about one of 3 channels that I work on over time. But if I've never met you before in my life, I've probably never given you that channel. Now, if it got recommended to you by someone, I can't do much about that, because we do give referrals, we do give recommendations, we do try to help people with our elations, but what I think is we're failing to celebrate are the human connections that are truly celebrations.